Have you ever wondered what truly moves the behind the scenes of power? Since ancient Greece, philosophers have wrestled with one of the most dangerous questions a human being can ask. What is truth? And what does it have to do with politics? The relationship between truth and politics is, at its core, a minefield of complexities. It stretches from the marble halls of Athenian democracy all the way to today's battles against fake news and post-truth. But here's the real question we need to ask first. Which truth are we actually looking for?
Somewhere between philosophy and power, there is a space where truth gets negotiated. Not discovered, not revealed, negotiated. For centuries, the greatest thinkers in Western history tried to map that space, to understand what truth means in the arena of politics. Plato built a perfect republic around it. Machiavelli dismantled that republic and replaced it with something far more brutal. But both of them, despite their genius, left something out. This is logos and law. And today, we're going to find what they missed.
Scholars draw a crucial distinction. On one side, there is factual truth, the kind that deals with concrete events and verifiable facts. On the other, there is political moral truth, the kind that seeks justice within a community. And here is where things get uncomfortable. Political truth is not transcendent. It is not handed down from the heavens. It is collectively constructed, a legal and moral agreement that, by its very nature, is always up for dispute. What does that mean in practice? It means that politics, as a fundamentally human activity, depends on the consensus of opinions rather than on any absolute truth. And this dynamic, which sounds almost reasonable on the surface, opens a dangerous crack. A crack between dogmatic authoritarianism on one side and liberal relativism on the other. A crack that both Plato and Machiavelli tried to close in very different ways, and both ultimately failed.
Plato believed he had the answer. His philosopher king, having gazed into the world of eternal ideas, would bring immutable truth down into the messy, unstable world of politics. A noble vision, almost beautiful in its ambition. The ruler not as a schemer, but as a sage, someone who knows the truth and governs by it. But here is the question Plato never fully answered. What happens when that truth reaches the hands of men who are not philosophers? What happens when the claim to truth becomes a justification for control? Did Plato foresee how his ideal could be bent, twisted, and weaponized, not by tyrants in opposition to philosophy, but by rulers wearing philosophy as a mask? Machiavelli, centuries later, took the opposite road. He rejected utopian systems and the normative politics of the Greeks entirely, declaring that what matters is the effective truth of things, how men actually behave, not how they ought to. For him, results justified the means. The ruler who survived was the one who mastered reality as it is, stripped of illusion and moral comfort. Machiavelli was sharp. He was ruthlessly honest about human nature. And yet, he too missed something.
And that is the blind spot. The blind spot that neither Plato nor Machiavelli could fully conceive, because the world they lived in had not yet invented the tools to exploit it at scale. We live in an era where the malleability of political truth has reached an unprecedented level. The collective construction of political moral truth, which was always contested, can now be intentionally distorted at mass scale to serve specific interests, transforming truth itself into an instrument of power. Scholars of the Frankfurt School, Adorno and Horkheimer, anticipated elements of this in the 1940s, warning about how mass media and the culture industry could manufacture false consensus. But even they could not have foreseen the full scope of what was coming. While Plato sought immutability and Machiavelli sought effective reality, neither of them could have imagined a world where disinformation is not a deviation from governance, but a method of governance. A world where the manipulation of perception is not the exception to political power, but one of its primary instruments.
The real secret, the thing that changes everything, is this. In politics, truth is not simply what is. It is what people are made to believe is. And that manipulation, subtle, systematic, and often invisible, is the hidden engine that drives power in ways that even the greatest minds of history failed to fully anticipate. Plato looked for truth in the realm of eternal ideas. Machiavelli looked for it in the cold mechanics of power. But neither of them looked for it where it is most dangerously constructed today, in the minds of millions of people, shaped by information, by narrative, and by those who control both. So here is the question I want to leave with you. If political truth is constructed and malleable, if it can be shaped, spun, and weaponized at scale, how do we, as citizens, discern what is real? Are we living closer to factual truth today, or to a manufactured one? That is not a rhetorical question. It is perhaps the most urgent political question of our time. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if this kind of deep dive into the ideas that quietly run the world is something you want more of, you know what to do. This is Logos and Law. We will see you in the next one.